looking at what's happening in near the Kashmir, it recently has been reported that the Chinese weaponry has basically used by Pakistani military successfully shot down a number of jets, 5 jets, if I remember correctly, from the Indian Air Forces, including 3 of the fighter jets coming from French. So Xi Jinping is so happy and proudly watching the fruits of the Made in China 2025 and the China Standard 2035. So so any comments and reaction to the attitude that Xi Jinping currently has?
Well, President, first off, look at, and everybody should go back and look at the tapes. I looked at hours of it, but the from May 7th to 9th or May 7th to 10th, the commemoration and celebration of Victory in Europe Day, the 80th anniversary by the Russian army in Beijing, Xi and Putin looked like a couple of teenagers on their first date. They were giggling, they were laughing, they were sharing stories with each other as they watched the military parade. And I think Xi signed 35 agreements with Russia. That should scare the world. That the United States, because of our globalist and elitist, forced us in the first term to not be able to get something done with the Russians, but they forced the Russians into the Chinese hands. Very, 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 very scary. And that's kind of where we are now. Now, President Trump, it's interesting, when this all went on in Kashmir, President Trump was adamant about saying, hey, they've ripped off everything about the F-35. The Chinese Communist Party on industrial espionage, or more importantly, in setting up if you want access to the Chinese market, you have to form a joint venture and dump all your intellectual property in that the Chinese Communist Party joint venture partner gets full access to. So they've been very smart and cunning about how they've done this. But yes, you look at particularly, it's bad news for the French military industry, because I think you're correct, Ava. I think that there was that the French fighter jets proved relatively ineffective. Now, I haven't been able to verify all that independently. I was talking about open source news I'm reading, but clearly there was it looks like it was a major part of Chinese military technology that was involved in all that.